Okay, everybody, yes, it is me, Gregory Mannarino. I could not wait to get this video out, and I am being honest with you. So yes, this is my post-market wrap-up on this Wednesday, January 26th, 2022. Status post, the Federal freaking freak show reserve. People, before I even get started, I had a little epiphany today, and I'm going to let you in on it. Things are worse, probably a lot worse than even I expected with regard to what the Federal Reserve is trying to do, and that is inflate and continue to inflate. They don't care at all about people that are suffering right now with surging inflation. They're really determined to fulfill their end game here, to wipe out the middle class as fast as they possibly can. Now, what happened today? Well, I got it wrong. Okay, I got the Federal Reserve wrong today. I want you to consider what I'm about to tell you. I've been out here for 13 years. And during my tenure out here, today would make the third time I have been wrong with regard to what the Federal Reserve would do. 3 times in 13 years now. In considering why I was wrong today, I had a bit of an epiphany. I'm dead serious. I expected, and I said this right here on this video blog, I expected that the Federal Reserve would do something today. The market wants the Fed to act. How do we know that? Let's look at how the market responded today. It was incredible, like I said. We had a market this morning off to the races, higher across the board. During the middle of the day, the Dow Jones Industrial Average was higher by over 400 points, almost 500. We finished in the negative. We gave all that back plus 130 with regard to the Dow. The S&P finished in the negative, and the NASDAQ finished flat after a really big rally. So this market gave back everything that it was rallying on earlier today. The market was expecting the Fed to act. I realized that most people probably didn't expect the Fed to do anything, but I really believed that the Fed would do something because inflation is so far out of control. Did you watch the Federal Reserve conference with Yellowstone Powell? How many times did that man mention price stability? Over and over and over again. We have no price stability whatsoever. We have surging inflation. It's out of control, and a middle class that is paying the price here on a grand scale. So my epiphany is this. The Federal Reserve is now in its, again, really in their endgame or their last phase of destroying the economy and the middle class in an attempt to fulfill their endgame. Think about it. The Fed, obviously, by not acting on a market that was clearly pricing in a rate hike, like I said, I explained to all of you from weeks ago, the market was pricing in a rate hike. And if, in fact, we got a rate hike, the market was going to rally. I said, if the Federal Reserve did not hike rates today, the market would fall. And that's exactly what happened. We gave back all of the gains that we put on and then finished in the negative with regard to the Dow and the S&P and the NASDAQ, like I said, finished flat. So what this tells me is the Federal Reserve is more determined than ever to continue to inflate, keep pressure on the middle class, fulfill their end game to become the lender and buyer of last resort, to own it all. That's really what this is all about. Maybe I was a little too optimistic. I realize clearly what the Federal Reserve mission is. Their mission, well, is to own it all, is to keep the economy suppressed, to keep people under control, to keep people fearful, and again, to foster their two-tier society, feudal system, feudal overlords, period, in the end. Maybe I was a little more optimistic, and I thought that, well, maybe the Fed will nudge rates here. I really believe that. But the fact that they didn't, first of all, the market responded exactly like you and I realized it would. We knew if the Fed did not raise rates, the market would respond in a negative way. And that's exactly what did happen. I mean, this is a no-brainer. And I'm not sure it's over. I'm going to tell you this right now. So I'm going to urge a little bit of caution here. So caution advised. I'm not saying, because I know this is going to get twisted, that the market is on the edge of crashing or we're going to fall, 1,000 points tomorrow. We may fall 1,000 points tomorrow. I want us all to take in what happened today and realize what's really going on. Oh, I have more to talk to you about with regard to that and what's really happening in the Ukraine with Russia. But I wasn't going to even mention this. The other day, I don't know how many of you recall, I picked up a piece of paper. You remember I did that? And I said, I'm not even going to talk about that. And I threw it down. Well, I decided that I am going to talk about it. And, we'll get to that in a little bit here. So anyway, look, the market is not just a freak show. It's gone beyond the freak show here. And the fact that the Fed didn't act today with a market that clearly was pricing in a rate hike, in my view, that says something, because the market reacted exactly like we knew it would. We knew it would fall because the market wants the Fed to act. A rate hike today, even a small fraction, would have pushed this stock market up. The Dow would have gained over 1,000 points. I would be willing to say that if the Fed raised rates today, the Dow Jones Industrial Average would have finished higher by 1,500 or more, maybe 1,700. So again, the Fed is really, they're really determined to hurt people on an epic scale. They already are. They're destroying the economy. They're destroying people. And they're not going to stop, as I told you, until every single straggler left in the middle class is gone. Gone, in the literal sense. So anyway, let us move forward here. I'm going to cover what I wanted to say a few days ago with regard to Russia and Ukraine later. So just hold on for that. But I don't know, people. I have so much stuff I wrote down today. I don't even know where to begin after what I just said to you here. So let's cover a few things that came out of the mouth of Powell after they failed to act and the market's not happy about this. Real quick, when I just said that I'm advising you to be cautious, I'm not saying, okay, I want you to understand what I am saying. I'm not saying we're going to deviate from our strategy here. Yes, in fact, the 10-year yield came up substantially, and the MMRI, link in the description of this video, came up as well. Last I looked at the market close, it was 110.8. Risk is rising. The dollar, did you see how the dollar responded to this? Kind of interesting. Think about it. The Fed says they didn't raise rates, obviously, and the dollar puts on a knee-jerk higher like that. Almost a little bit of a fear trade here. We'll see how this plays out over the next couple of days. So again, caution, yes. I'm not calling for a crash. I am just saying, you and I, as watchers of the drivers of the market, okay, let's take this in over the next couple of days. If I feel like there is a buying opportunity, I will let you know. Believe me, you know I will, okay? If I feel like we need to change something, well, I'll tell you that as well. But again, for now, we're going to remain cautious, but we're not going to deviate from our strategy. Going back to Powell here. So he explained, he said over and over, price stability, price stability, price stability. Tell me where we have price stability today. The Federal Reserve's mandate, one of their mandates, is to maintain price stability. We have nothing, not even a resemblance, the slightest bit of price stability. We have surging inflation. And I'm still waiting for one of our illustrious retard, members of Congress that care about us so much to have the Federal Reserve explain how they've gotten it so wrong with regard to their price mandate or price stability mandate. Won't happen because they're not the government and you have no representation at all. So anyway, he says everything is going according to the Federal Reserve's public mission. No, what does he mean by that? I think their mission is to destroy an entire class of people. It's in your face and it's happening. But you see, but he can't actually say that. It's absolutely insane. Let me see, what else did he say here? You know what? He said so much bullshit. I almost don't even want to even talk about it, but price stability, price stability, price stability over and over and over again. It's out of control. Let me see what I wrote on this piece of paper here before I move on. And I really want you to contemplate what I'm going to tell you in just a little bit here. Honestly, people, look, what the takeaway from what I'm explaining to you here. You hear that? There's a lot of military aircraft around here lately. I live near an Air Force base, and lately, over the past like 2 weeks, it's been out of control. Fighters and bombers and everything flying overhead and choppers. It's like they're really getting ready for something. But keep that thought in the back of your mind here. So honestly, people, things are a lot worse than I thought. And I'm not talking about with this market, because I still believe if we can get through what's happening here, the market sincerely may do one of two things. Either it's going to crater over the next couple of days on the fact that the Fed did not act, or the market's going to get euphoric again and start climbing. I just want us to be on the right side. Again, I'm going to watch the drivers and I'm going to let you know. Now let's move forward onto a few other things here. Gold and silver fell under pressure today. Cryptocurrencies got a bit higher, but off of the highs in aggregate. 10-year yield, I explained to you, that jump higher today. I'm not saying it rattled me, but it got my attention. That's why I'm saying be cautious here. Because we know where this whole thing is going to start. The implosion in the stock market is going to begin in the debt market. Okay, clearly. And we're going to get a moment when rates spike in an uncontrolled fashion. Did we just see that a little bit? I'm not convinced at all. I have to see a lot more. But that little jump, that wasn't so little jump in the 10-year yield today did get my attention. That jump in the dollar got my attention. The fact that the MMRI is now nearly 111, still in the yellow, got my attention a little bit. But what really got my attention is the fact that the Fed did nothing. They failed to act, and the market did exactly what we knew it would do. That is, fall. I mean, we gave back a pretty substantial rally in this market today, all of it, and then we went negative with regard to the Dow and the S&P. It's too easy to figure this shit out sometimes. And again, for those of you that want to hear it, because I know there's a lot of Greg haters, yes, I got it wrong. My third time I got the Fed wrong in 13 years. My record's still pretty good. All right, people, look, the other day, as I alluded to, I had said that I picked up a piece of paper and I said, I'm not going to talk about that. Well, I think I am going to talk about that because there's a lot of, I guess, fear being propagated by the mainstream media with regard to Russia and Ukraine, Russia, Ukraine, Russia, Ukraine, troop buildups. We got President Bidenstein with 850,000 troops on alert. And again, here in my own neighborhood, we got fighter planes passing over bombers and choppers and everything freaking else. I'm almost a little reluctant to say this, but I'm going to. What do you think is really behind a lot of this? Since we understand that war, or the propagation of war, is major business, it's big business. In fact, it's the war machine generates more income for corporations than anything else. What I believe is really going on here is some kind of a missile deal, an arms deal, some kind of crap that some bigwig wants to push through. Some major corporation here wants to sell equipment and missiles and whatever they want to the Ukraine. So I believe, and I could be way off on this, but my take on what we're seeing here with regard to Russia and Ukraine is there's an underlying, probably very large military deal involving missiles, anti-missile batteries, bombers. I have no idea. And maybe some maneuvering of military power out there. Again, I don't feel at this point, and I could be wrong. Okay, look, what I do with everything here is I try to put out what I think may be happening, and whether I'm right or wrong, I don't know. I like to tell you what's on my mind here. We'll see we'll see where this goes, but I really feel that this isn't what it seems to be. There's some kind of other thing going on here. And just wait till we hear about it. I don't know. Oh, yeah, we're going to be deploying missiles over here. Oh, we're going to be selling missiles to these people and blah, blah, blah. And, it's a multi-billion, gazillion dollar deal. Imagine my shock. Really? Oh, you mean get everybody afraid, think that they're on the edge of a war here or something when it really comes down to is they just wanted to sell arms? Or they want to get around some kind of embargo? I mean, everything is just so twisted, people, but you know that. So look, in summary here, things are definitely worse than I believed they would be because the Fed did not act today. This tells me that the Fed is determined more than ever to exterminate the middle class. They want inflation to continue to surge. They're going to continue to inflate. That's another thing. The runoff of the Fed's balance sheet. He mentioned the possibility of a runoff of the Fed's balance sheet a whole bunch of times. What that tells me is the Fed has no intention at all of running off their balance sheet. And the Fed will continue to inflate no matter what. But the fact that the market responded in a negative way to the Fed's failure to act, I have to ponder that a little bit. We knew that would happen. I mean, this is not a secret. You and me, I said right here on this blog, watch what would happen to the market. If the Fed does not act, the stock market's going to drop. And we gave back what was a very nice rally today. And we finished in the negative. So let's see where this plays out or how this plays out over the next few days. All right. We may end up with another great buying opportunity. Maybe not. I promise, as always, to keep you on top of this market. I do apologize for getting it wrong with regard to what the Fed would do today. But look, I tell all of you my what I believe may happen or the most likely thing. And I believe, but I guess I underestimated how desperate the Fed is to destroy the economy and destroy an entire class of people. They want to do it faster with more control. Who knows what else they have up their sleeves? So there's another word of caution for you. Be ready for anything. And I mean that. All right, look, I'm out of here. Kind of a long video. Love all of you a lot. Please comment here. I will read the comments. I promise you. And I'm so curious as to what you believe or think about things I covered in this video, especially about Russia, Ukraine. Do you think this is really an arms deal or a missile deployment or something in disguise? Or are we really on the brink of war? Let me know what you think. See you later.